this is Noel in the Ayurveda Centre, and I'm here with Dr. Rajvinder, and we're going to make the video on how to make clarified butter, ghee. We've been promising this for a while, so I'll get Dr. Rajvinder just to explain what you need. So go ahead, Dr. Rajvinder.
I just need unsalted butter. So if you can find organic unsalted butter, it's pretty much available. So I'm just going to use 2 blocks of unsalted butter. I need a clean stainless steel pot. And you just put it on a very low heat, so you don't just turn it on very high. So it's dry, no water, nothing. Just hold it.
Okay, so I went to the shops to get the unsalted butter, and it's in a silver wrapper generally, and a couple of different people do it.
It's the Lidl, I can do the grass-fed cows butter, so that's what you're looking. But there are some of the organic shops or Cavinston, those kind of shops, they do organic grass-fed cows butter. It says on the packaging if those shops are near you. So just put the block in, and you let it melt, and then I'll show you what's happening. So you need roughly 20-25 minutes. So the trick is really low heat. Don't attempt to turn the heat up, because you end up burning it, and then the textures won't be very nice. So yeah.
Okay, so you have that on a very low flame.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just put it on and forget about it for 10-15 minutes and go and do your own things, and then you can just keep checking it. So I'm just gonna wait for 2-3 minutes when this fully kind of melt and show what it looks like, and then when it is done, what it should look like before you transfer into the jar. So other thing you need is a kind of a sterilized glass jar, and you need to strain it, because there will be kind of milk solids that settle. They burn out, they settle at the bottom of the pan. That's what you don't want to go in the jar. So you can use a sieve. I use sieve most of the time, and it's okay to leave the residue behind. Or if you have a muslin cloth, so that's like a baby cloth in the baby section of most of the supermarket, or it's like a thin cloth, work as a sieve. You can use that as well, whichever you have, if you don't have the sieve or you don't have the cloth. So just pretty handy. It's very economical. It doesn't cost you too much, and it lasts longer. And some people ask, does ghee need to stay in the fridge or on the shelf outside? No need to be in the fridge. It just stay on the normal temperature in a dark place maybe. But if you happen to put it in the fridge by mistake, then it stay there, because once it get the moisture, and then it get mold very easily. So just keep it out of the fridge anyway.
Okay, and it lasts a long time. I mean, it lasts for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and just don't put any contaminants in with it, like a dirty spoon or a knife or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You treat it like you treat honey. You use a dry spoon, and you don't put any kind of food particle in it. So you need to be very careful when you're using it, and you always close the lid tight. So don't leave it loose, because if it's damp weather, it absorbs it. So then there are chances that it will go off. Okay. So maybe Noel, if you want to kind of put the camera a little bit. So you see the ghee is melting, the blocks of butters are melting, and all this white start coming up on the top. So it's a little bit bubbling up. Just gonna turn the heat a little bit up for the video purpose. So that's what will be happening in a couple of minutes with all the milk solids, the white particles. If I stir it a little bit, I see the white milk solids there. So that's full of milk solids at the moment, and that's what we want to be disappear. Okay, so then we will end up a very clear golden liquid. So at the moment it's gold and kind of cloudy mixture really. So I'm gonna leave it. So I'm gonna bring the jar that we sell to show you how it looks, and the one we have made it, and does it look the same. So 1 second, I'm gonna bring that. So that's the jar that you buy in most of the places, or from Ayurveda. So this is what it looks like. So it settles, it gets solidified at the room temperature. Some people have made the ghee, and their question was that when they transfer it into the jar, it didn't solidify. So the problem there is you didn't boil it enough. So you didn't boil it to the point where it turned golden brown, and the brown residue residue settle at the bottom. So that's the point when you turn it off. So I'll try to show that. So when you do that, then you transfer it into the jar, let it cool down, and then you place the lid on it, and it could solidify on its own. But it depends on the variety of the butter as well. Sometimes the butters could be, if it's salted butter, yeah, that's not going to solidify because of the moisture from the salt. So you might have a little bit difference there when you transfer in the jar there.
So basically you're just being left with the fats, is that?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So, and even the research say it is lactose free. So people with the lactose intolerance are using ghee and they don't find any kind of issue with it, because you're burning the milk solid away. So you're left with the protein of the milk really. So the lactose particle, it's burning off. So if you're curious and you have lactose problem, I'll suggest you better do your own research around it before you start taking ghee, if you are intolerant to dairy or anything like that. And milk is the ghee is considered a very good healthy fat in Ayurveda. It's kind of a good source of vitamin, fat solubles vitamin like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and plus it is very rich in butyric acid, and butyric acid helps to rejuvenate the brain cells. So it is considered to be very good for memory and all that problem. And it has a very high smoking point, so it is okay to cook at high heat. And it is very sattvic, for the sattvic quality, the pure quality of the mind. The ghee is considered a sattvic food. So ghee is considered very kind of a antioxidant rich food, or a superfood in Ayurveda, I can say. So I'm gonna show it again, and we're gonna pause the video for a few minutes. So you see the butter is melted, and slowly at the low heat the milk solids are boiling away. And then so I'm gonna pause the video for the next 10 minutes, and we'll come back and show you what's happening in the 10 minutes. Okay, so it's roughly about 10 minutes now. So I want Noel to point the camera to the towards the pan. And in the pot you see there's a lot of froth, and if I'm gonna turn the heat off now, so the froth will settle as and the liquid cool down a little bit. So I just want to show to the bottom of the pan, you see the brown residue there. Yeah, so it looks like if I leave it on the heat, it's gonna end up burning. So I'm gonna use a little spoon to show the. So if I move the froth a little bit and just take some on the liquid on there. So there is a kind of a golden color liquid is there. So I don't need to strain. I didn't remove the froth or anything. This is just because of the high temperature of it. And if I leave it to cool down, it will settle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it. And then you'll be able to see in the jar. So make sure to see. I'm just going to use the sieve, or for if you made a big batch and there is a lot of residue, so you can even put the muslin cloth around the sieve, and you can use both. But I don't have a lot of big batch of it, so I'm just going to strain it slowly. So you see the froth is still a little bit going into the jar, but that will settle as it cools down. So just slowly, so that the residues don't come on the sieve, and let them settle in the bottom of the pot. So these were 2 blocks. So you have made, so this jar is 480 grams, so kind of a half a kilo. So I think if you have 3 blocks, you can easily make a little bit more than half a kilo. Okay, so this is the liquid, so it's a bit hot, so I let it cool down and it will settle and become solidify like this. So that will be the texture that it look like. And if I show you the bottom of the pot, so these are the brown residue. So you have to wait. They shouldn't go very black. So they're brown. So that's the point where you turn off. And if you want, you can scrape some of the froth or this foam from the top, but there's no need for it really. So I hope it's clear.
Okay.
And I say if you leave it for another hour or so, this will start solidifying and become like this slowly. And then you just close the lid and leave it. So I normally keep it outside. I don't need to keep it in the cupboard or anything, or it can go in the press anyway.
And then we use this for cooking our vegetables with, or for detoxification treatments.
Oh yeah, it is used for a lot of purposes. So what you do, you fry your spices. You use like a roughly a half a spoon like this size, just half, to make a batch of vegetable for 2-3 people. So you fry your spices into the ghee first, and then you add dal or lentils or vegetables in it, and it enhances the flavor of the food very much. So that's
and that's all on the YouTube channel anyway. So
yeah,
those different videos. Okay, Dr.
Thank you
Rajvinder,
very much.
that's perfect. Thank
Thanks,
you.
enjoy.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Bye
thank
bye.
you.